What's up? How is everybody doing? I'm doing great. I had a wonderful day. Hope you all did as well. My hair's a little crazy because it's really, really windy here. We have storms coming in, so the temperature's been dropping. Of course, I knew that the nice warm weather, the California, Florida weather that we were getting was not going to stay. But it feels good nevertheless. I still got out and got a walk in and took care of some errands today. I got to talk to my baby boy. That was nice. No matter how short the conversations are, I appreciate the time that we get, no matter how small that it is, just getting to hear his voice and connect energetically in any way for any amount of time is always a blessing. I'm always thankful for whatever I have, no matter how small it is. That's the thing about going through what I went through, is getting stripped of everything makes you appreciate everything so much more when you get it back. I think that's the meaning of that having to happen, not only a spiritual awakening, but just the appreciation, the gratitude. It magnifies so much. Every little single thing that you get that you didn't have, and I didn't have anything for a while. I didn't have much at all, but I always had everything that I needed. Everything that was a necessity to me was always provided for me, and I was so grateful for it then. And then when you start to get things that you haven't had in a long time, that you thought you might never get back at first, um, you're even more grateful for it then. And that's where you start to create. You start to create your new consciousness, the things that are in your new life, and the new person that you are, which had to go through horrible things to be that person, but you're grateful for that too once you're through it. And while you're in it, you can be grateful for the small, beautiful things that happen in your day-to-day life that you forgot to look at, that you forgot to appreciate because you were so busy doing all these other things or being distracted by having so much. And when you have so little, those things become what you hold on to be happy every day, to look for beauty in the small things. You really have to appreciate every single step of it because it was created for a reason. It happened for a reason. And you are always right where you are supposed to be for good reason. So it'll all make sense. It'll all make sense. If it doesn't in the moment, still be grateful for everything because you always have something that someone else might not have. You may have forgotten to be grateful for that, where you came from. And when you start to get things back, you'll be even more grateful for getting them again because you might have taken them for granted. You probably did. Or it was something that you thought you would always have. You didn't think anything would ever happen to that. But that's not life. That's not this human experience as a divine being. We're here to learn. And if we always had everything that we always wanted, or if we always got everything that we always thought that we wanted, we would never learn anything. We would never grow. We would just stay right where we were and we would never move. So I thank God for all of those things. Every single tiny bit, every second, every heartbeat, every breath, every move, every person, every single thing. I appreciate them all. And I love you all. So I wanted to start off by saying that today. I love all of you. Even if you don't like me, I don't care. I don't care what you think of me. It's none of my business. I don't care if you don't like me. I think my point in this channel is to help others by helping them feel comfort or giving them instruction and guidance and what they're going through if they've gone through similar things that I have, to tell them how I did it. And I also want to help you to go further than that. Like I've always said in my other videos, we didn't come this far just to come this far. We're going further. Just when you get through the hard time, don't stop there. Don't become ungrateful. Don't disconnect from the journey. Keep going. Keep going. Always keep going. No ceilings here. If you've come out of low vibrations, you've raised your vibrations, you've gotten things back, you're grateful for that. Even if you feel comfortable in that spot, warm and fuzzy, and I'm good here. Don't get complacent. Not even where you thought you wanted to be. Keep going because there's always more. We can always keep vibrating higher. We can always help others. We can always be more in touch with God and more in touch with our authenticity to continue to share the gifts that we uncover that we didn't even know that we had because other people need them. Other people need them, and that's why I hope that you're here. And if the haters fall off and I lose some subscribers, I know that I'm going to gain some back because I have the greatest intentions with this. And nothing that I have gone through will have been in vain because it's going to help somebody. And if I just help one person, it was worth it. So I welcome you all here. This is a loving, caring, high vibrational place that I hope that you can feel. I hope that you can be inspired by, and I hope that I can help guide you to keep going no matter how far you've come or how low you've gone, that we can always go up. It can always get better. Just like it can always get worse, it can always get better. So there's two sides to that coin. I want you all to embrace that and embrace what I'm sharing with you because I truly do love you all. Even if you're never going to be in my life again, even if I've been there, done that, I still love you from afar and I want the best for you. I want you to grow and learn just like I am, no matter where you are or how far you go. I still wish you the best. Absolutely the best because we are all part of the same source. We all came from the same place. Every person that's here in a human body having this experience is a brother or sister of mine in theory. So I don't wish bad for you. I want us all to be happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. You just have to make the choice to do so. It's all about the choices that you make and being very intentional and very positive and grateful on the way. So today I wanted to talk about meditation because I often say meditate, meditate, and it sounds so much, my leg is going to sleep. It sounds so much easier than it actually is because, sure, meditate. And then when I lay down or I sit down, it's so hard to make, I have to adjust my sitting. It's so hard to, I'm not going to stop the video. That happened on purpose. Okay, I'm back. It's so hard to quieten your mind. Meditation sounds wonderful. It sounds perfect if you want to start getting in touch with your higher self, your God conscience, co-creating with source and being very intentional and expanding your consciousness. There's so much more. There's so many layers to what we've been taught and what we've been conditioned to think that we often don't make time to meditate and get in touch with our higher self, to be at one with everyone and everything, with God, to be co-creating with God. We don't make time to slow down. We don't make time to actually practice meditation, and meditation requires a lot of practice. It's not, I know when I first tried to start doing it, now I did it in yoga, and with yoga it was guided. So it did, I paid for the class. So obviously I'm going to put some effort into it. And it was an hour long. So it wasn't like I was just doing it myself and giving myself 10 minutes. And I said, oh, I just can't stop thinking about putting the clothes in the dryer or what's going to be for dinner or whatever. And It was an actual conscious decision to set aside that amount of time to pay for it. So I was guaranteed to do it, and also to have someone there holding my hand, not only through the stretches, but meditation is part of it. Um, I would encourage, if you can, to do that. There's free classes everywhere, and that may help you start getting into the practice. So that's one way. But two, you have to practice it. You're going to give up your first few times because, yes, your brain is going to be incessant. It's going to keep telling you things that are counterproductive to what you're trying to do. So you have to keep at it. It's not something that's just going to click and you're going to get it and then you're, oh, here's enlightenment. Oh, here's my higher self. No, it took me years, years and years and years. But just like doing your shadow work, it's so worth it. So I don't want you to stop trying, because once you feel that connection with your higher self, and I have, it's not my complete consciousness. I don't want to live in the 5D. I don't want to live in the astral, um, because I still have attachments here. I want to experience love from a divine partner, someone who loves themselves like I do, and that we can mirror that back to each other in a healthy way. I still have attachment to my son, and he is not complete. He's not in the 5D. Once you go up, you can come back down. Now, to go back down into the lower vibrations where you don't want to go back, it's very painful. It's painful just like the shadow work was to come out of it. It's painful to go back. Like I said, cheating on your diet feels gross. It's embarrassing. It's not worth the cheat day. So you can go up and down, but I wouldn't advise doing all the work to go up and then going all the way back down. I wouldn't advise that. You can guide those people. You can give them instructions. Like, I don't care who's watching my video. If you hate me and you're in low vibrations, you can still gather information from me, helpful information, to put yourself on your path to enlightenment, and raise your vibrations as well, without me having to sync up with you, because we're not hanging out. We're not besties. We'll probably never be besties unless you decide to do a whole lot of work on yourself. But it's gonna take time to get to where you want to be. It's not something that happens overnight, and so don't give up on it. Like I said before, even if you make mistakes, even if somebody makes you mad and you plummet to a low vibration and give in to what they want from you, you don't have to stay there. Course correct. Remember where you were. Get back on the bike and keep going. It may be painful. You may be very disappointed in yourself, but that doesn't mean that you need to quit. All is not lost. So when you're vibrating high, you will be more committed to meditation, because if you want to keep going, that's going to be part of it. So quieting the mind. Also, when you do meditation, especially until you're in a good, strong practice of doing it, I wouldn't advise doing it laying down, because you will over and over fall asleep. And you might reach a slight taste of the meditation that you want, but you're not going to remember any of it, because you will have fallen off and it will turn into sleep. So I would advise doing it where you're sitting up. And then also, I was in listening to that channel that I suggested and even shared a link to, Danique. She talks about how all the answers are inside of us, and I say that too, and they are. That's not a lie. But there is a book that will help and get you on kind of the same page as where I am currently with my path, not where I came from, where I am right this moment on this day, to read the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And he talks a lot about meditation and how to reach your point of enlightenment, to where, like Jim Carrey says when he first, I shared a link about that too, or he talks about that. So you can go check out my community board for Dan Neek and Jim Carrey. But Jim Carrey says that it comes in waves because you're not going to live in a total state of enlightenment at first. You'll get a taste of it. You'll do meditation so many times to where you become good at it, quietening your mind, getting in touch with your higher self, and you will feel that peace, that serenity, that lack of any anxiety, lack of fear. It's that heaven on earth that I'm talking about that we want to strive for, to reach creative mode. You must get in touch with your higher self. You must drop the fear. You must drop the programming and the conditioning that the ego is in, because that's what we're fed. That's what we're taught. If you want to break out of that endless cycle of trying to feed the insatiable ego, you have to commit to connecting with your higher self, just shedding all of those things through your shadow work, making amends with the people, places, and things that no longer serve your highest good, and letting them go, honoring them, but not letting them become part of your day-to-day life. But once you see that it's there and you know how much better life can be without it, that awareness will make you never want to go back. Even if you slip up, you're going to want to go back and regain the traction at the point where you were at and keep going, because it's not worth it to go back. First of all, you've spent lots of time. Like I said, it didn't happen overnight. You've spent lots of time to be at a higher vibration, a higher frequency. And then once you do taste it, even if it comes in waves, that point of enlightenment where it feels magical, it feels majestic, that connection is something that you'll want to chase, something that you'll want to get very good at getting in touch with. And I can't do it even at this point, which I want to, and other people do. It is attainable. To reach enlightenment at the drop of a hat. I still am at the Jim Carrey clip where it comes in waves, but I'm practicing at it. I'm getting very good at it, and I still can reach that point, and it's still beautiful, and I still want all of you to come with me, and you'll see. It is, you'll wonder why it took you so long. You'll wonder why it took you so long if it was just that easy, just to lay still, just to quieten in your mind. Why I wasted all this time fighting, being jealous, being envious, stealing, cheating, do any of those things, hanging out with those people, any of those things. You'll be like, what? What in the world was I doing? Spending so much time. You were learning lessons. Be very, very gentle with yourself. Love yourself so much. Don't beat yourself up about how long it took you. Even if you're 90, getting into this, you still did it. You still made it. You woke up. You're here now. That's all that matters. Everything else was a lesson. You were blessed by it. It's something that put you on your way to where you are now, and just be happy that something forced you to get there and that you're there now. So what Eckhart Tolle says, and I haven't finished reading his whole book. It's online, by the way. You don't have to spend any money on it. Pretty much any book that you want is online. You just search it and it will come up. If you have a smartphone, if you have a connection to the internet at all, data, Wi-Fi, whatever, any book is online pretty much. I haven't looked for one yet that, I mean, I do. I'm old school, so I like the feel of a book. I've never been able to convert to a tablet because I love the smell of a book. I love the feel of the pages, the sounds. It's just nostalgia for me. But if you don't have the money, it's not an excuse, because you can find any book online. But he talks about how, when I say be an observer of other people, and therefore you don't have to sync up and be at that vibration. Just look at it I've been there, done that. Walk around, keep going. It's the same with your mind. Trying to quieten your mind when you meditate and you're overthinking. He says, and not me, he teaches, and it's very true. That's why I'm sharing this, because it resonated with me that he teaches that just like we are addicted to substances and things and people, that we are also addicted to overthinking. And that voice in your head, that narrator, that tells you, put the clothes in the dryer, what are you going to fix for dinner, this is what you need from the store, pick your kid up at so and so time after practice on Wednesday, whatever. Whatever it is, that narrator in your head is not your authentic self. It's still your ego. It's still your shadow self. It's still something that you need to monitor and observe, just like those people in the low vibrational energies. It is something that you can learn to separate yourself from in a way that you observe it as if it were someone else talking to you, like a child that's telling you things from the back seat. That's how that's how you need to observe all those thoughts that are in your head. It's your overthinking. It is a tool. Your mind is a tool, and it's something that once you're not using, it can be set down and not used until you need it again. You don't need that running narrator in your head. You don't need the constant commentary going on. That is not necessary, but it's something that we think that we need. It's something that we're so used to hearing. It's something that we've conditioned ourselves to believe is normal, when it is normal to a certain extent, because very little people are to the point of wanting to separate from that and quieten their mind and devote their life to meditation practices and enlightenment. But that is why I'm mentioning him, because people have been saying this for years and years and years. I mean, he was on the Oprah book club when this book that I'm talking about, The Power of Now, came out. He's done the circuits for promotion. It's been marketed. It's been fully explained to people, but yet people are not doing it. So I don't ever mean to rip off Danique or Eckhart Tolle or anyone. I want to give them full credit to go check them out. But I also want to put my spin on it, because I still want to reach people with the same information. And Danique even says on her channel she wants to create creators. She doesn't mind for people to name drop her, to recycle what she's saying, because she wants them to be their own creators, not to do it in the way that she's doing it, but in their own way. Because maybe in the way that Toll and Danique are saying it is not the way that the masses need to hear, or even just this section of people that I'm talking to need to hear, to help them to wake up, to help them to find their path and to become their authentic self and their purpose, by sharing that gift of their authenticity with others, by telling their story, by doing whatever their genuine self is happy sharing with everyone else. I want you all to get there. I want you all to experience enlightenment. I want you all to do your shadow work and break away from the pain and the trauma and the low vibrational people, so that you can find your authentic self and then really be fully in your purpose, sharing your gifts with this world. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to be slaves and fight with each other by working nonstop and not having time to figure out who you really are, by continuing to build up layers and layers and layers of conditioning that it's so hard to break out of unless something really traumatic, tragic happens to you. We don't want to have to go that far to get out of the ego, to get out of the programming. So the smallest, look, back when I took yoga and I started meditating, I was so far from being the high vibrational person that I am now. I was so far from there, but I still took baby steps. Things for me, yes, this last bout with trauma was significant, but it ensured that I would never go back. Because when I started on this path, as far as before I even felt the call from God, I tried yoga. That was on my first marriage. But it's something that I picked up and I knew it was part of my path. So I kept that with me. Didn't change myself. Um, Still kept drinking, smoking, doing the things that I was doing that wasn't getting me anywhere. Divorced, got into a second marriage. I felt the call at the end of that marriage, right before I had my son, and um, things pretty much went downhill during my pregnancy. So felt the call, didn't change my life yet. Got divorced, woke up to a lot of things, traumatic things that people that said they loved me could do. Cracked me open a little bit. I quit smoking for a while, still kept drinking. Then even further went into working myself to death, praying nonstop to find my path, to find my purpose, for God to help me get there. And then I stopped drinking but kept smoking, so I reversed it. And then not until, losing my apartment and accepting help from my uncle, and then everything that happened to me recently, in the past couple of years, that's what it really took. So it was baby steps for me. I didn't just become who I am overnight. It was gradual eye openers, and then finally the big bang that smacked me in the face and said, look, you're not going back to that. You have to do this now. And I'm so happy for it. I'm so happy for all those baby steps. I'm happy for the smack in the face, because I still would have stayed where I was. I would have kept making gradual changes and maybe not have gotten here at all. So start meditating no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through. You don't have to have gone through life-changing, altering events to start putting these practices into place for yourself. Um, the answers are all inside of us. We just have to observe the narrator and know that that's not your authentic, infinite, powerful being that is inside of you, because that's what our Creator, whom I call God, made you. That's who made you. He broke off some of his light, created this soul, put it in your body, and you are co-creating with him. If you choose to call him. I don't know if God's a woman or a man. I don't know. But that's just it's part of my conditioning that I haven't shed yet. That's part of the 4D. The 4D is religion, spirituality, even conspiracy theorists, because that's the stage in which you start to answer yourself. Well, you always answer yourself, to ask yourself, is there more out there? You start to question existence. You start to come out of the 3D where you're just working nonstop, being a slave, totally okay with the conditioning. And in the 4D, you start asking yourself, there's more. There's got to be more. I want to find it. And religion, conspiracy theories, spirituality, whatever, is your vehicle for getting you to the point of enlightenment in the 5D. That's all it is. It's a tool. It's all a tool. Just like your brain is a tool. You can set it down whenever you're done with it. You can pick it back up if you want. Just don't hurt yourself or anyone else in doing so. Atheism, whatever it is, agnostic, whatever it is, you're questioning things, and that's good. That means you're ready to learn. The student is ready. You're ready to learn. You're ready to go forward to figure out something else. So it's just like lower vibrations. There's nothing wrong with it. We all have to go through those phases. It's just, do you want to keep going? Do you want to keep making the decision to keep going up, to keep asking questions, to keep finding the answers, so that you don't stay where you are and be complacent? You keep going up. So that's why I love everyone. It's necessary. It's necessary. I love myself for going through those lower stages, because it helped me to recognize what they are and discern them, so that I know the difference. and then I don't go back there. So it's necessary. So that's why we need to love everyone, no matter where they are. You don't have to have anything to do with them at all. Stay far away from low vibrational people. But it's still necessary for people to go through that so they know what not to go back to if they decide to make different choices for themselves and elevate and ascend. So, yeah, so you have to get your representative to hush, to meditate. So the narrator, the commentary that's in your head telling you all the things that it doesn't want you to forget to do. It's something that you're addicted to. It's something that you've told yourself that you need, and you don't. You don't need that. Heck, you can even make a list. Therefore, your brain can stop telling you all of those things. But in the meantime, observe it. Just know. Let those thoughts, when you're trying to meditate, that come up and tell yourself things, tell them that you know that's not you. Just sit back and listen to the thoughts that are in your head and know that it's not your authentic self, that you are observing that I am, that you are. I am powerful. Get in your affirmations to affirm to yourself that you are co-creating. I am beautiful. I am love. I am deserving of the love that I give to others. I am a wonderful mother. I am creating a beautiful life for myself. I am a hard worker. I am committed to going up. Whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, know that you already are that. You are everything already. You just have to get out of your own way, which a lot of times is the mind. The mind that's concerned about the past and the future. The mind that often puts negative thoughts in your head. And one big thing about that narrator, your mind, that's a tool that's meant to be put down, is that it drains your energy. It is like a program running in the back of your phone that you don't need, that you aren't using. It drains you of your precious commodity, which is your energy. You could be doing so much else with the energy that narrator is doing if you just learn to observe it and to not let those constant thoughts be said inside your head, because they're not necessary. You don't have to do that. You're addicted to it. You're addicted to hearing it. You think you need it. It's not necessary. And I'm not talking about mental illness. I know that there's someone out there going, we all have the narrator in our head. I'm not talking about random different voices telling you what to do. I'm talking about your own thoughts, quietening your thoughts. But it's not necessary for that to be running on autopilot 24/7. You don't need it. You think you need it, but you don't. And the more that you observe it and know that it's not necessary, and you get in touch with quieting your mind and the meditation, those spaces between the narrator and you just being observer, you being the I am, will become greater. They will be much longer than the narrating continuous endless loop that goes on. The neurodivergent, I know the neurodivergent, everybody online is, I'm neurodivergent. No, some of you are not. I'm not just dispelling it completely, because obviously I'm not a scientist. But half of the things that are being researched don't even exist. They're just problems that somebody has come up with a name for because somebody's complained about it. And so we'll treat this. And then the more people that say it, we'll come up with a name for it. And then before you know it, there's a new drug for it that you don't need, that you never needed. It was never a thing. I swear, if we would just get more in touch with who we are at our core, more meditation, be more at one with God, you would realize that a lot of these things that people complain about are not even really things. They were just in your head. Most of the things are in our head, or the things that make us sick, are the things that have been tainted, polluted with plastics, have been polluted with pesticides, have been polluted with anything that processed food, anything that goes into processed food, much like what TV and media and the news does to your brain. It's all part of the conditioning. It's all part of what you need to recognize and step away from. So I think a big part of that, not being scared and not feeding into all of that, would be helped a lot with meditation, because if you connect with your higher self on a regular basis, you're not going to be afraid of as many things, and you're going to have a natural desire to follow the path that you and the Creator designed for you to be on before you even came here. So give it a try. Give meditation a try. I highly recommend it. Just baby steps, and get that book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Watch Danique's channel. It's amazing. I love you all. God loves you. You're never alone. I'll see you later.